As long as the driver and the person with the bear is county police officer, they have access to it, as everybody knows. But he likes to make it that.
We know where the truth lies.
Okay, Kathy. Besides emergency management, what is your plan to safeguard the county in the event of an oil tanker emergency? They pose a great hazard to our environment as well as the public. What's your plan?
Just yesterday, if there's any emergency responders in the room, you know that we had a meeting, which I called, to bring everybody together who had an interest in it. The freeholder was there, as was Senator Weinberg, a senior sitting in the front. It was to explain what CSX, and that's the freight trains that we're talking about with the oil on them, what kinds of tanks there are, what precautions we need to take if we can, and clearly county government and state government and local government, none of them control the railroad. But we can work together to be ready for emergencies, for, as the officer who talked about it said, when it happens, not if it happens, and have specific modes of operation of what you want to do when an emergency happens. My opponent is a volunteer firefighter. He certainly is involved in that area. But what you have to do is have the plan ready as we are. We've talked about gathering people together. We have another meeting coming up Monday, education plans, because you've got to educate people, educate the first responders, educate the public, get the equipment that needs to be ready, and make sure that when an emergency happens, we're prepared for it. And we will be.
The CSX trains present a problem, but not a whole lot different than a lot of the other chemicals and things that flow through that area. As the county executive said, I've been a firefighter for 38 years and a volunteer. But what we need to do is we need to be able to plan, but we need to be able to execute. And the plan, or the conference that was held yesterday, went over a lot of things. It had a lot of broad spectrum of people in it. But the information was scattered all over for the different types of people. I think it would have been much better if it was better structured for elected officials, for emergency responders, for OEM people. But given that, what we need to do, and tomorrow I have a resolution on the for the freeholders to review. I've asked that CSX provide equipment, both fire retardant fighting foam and absorbance and containment equipment, and have that provided by CSX to Bergen County pre-staged in areas that are identified by our mutual aid and county fire marshal, so that when the incident happens, we're not running all over the place trying to get all of the equipment. We already have it stockpiled in places, and then our responders will be able to go in and use that equipment paid for by CSX and contain it and help start the process of preventing the fire and or the environmental impact. So it's about working in partnership with CSX.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for you. Can you name any jurisdiction that elects the chief of police? Why do you think that an elected chief, such as the sheriff, would be appropriate for Bergen County?
Because it's a constitutional position.
I'm not aware of any municipality in Bergen County that elects their police chief. Their police chief, by their form of government, is either appointed by the mayor, either recommended and voted upon by the council, chosen by the city manager, but I'm not aware of any police chief in Bergen County that gets elected. The sheriff is a constitutional officer, and he's elected by the people of Bergen County, but I'm not aware of any other local municipal police chief that's elected.
I've said from the very beginning, when we talk about the Bergen County Police Department, Sheriff's Department, you never put a politician in charge of a police department. That's a recipe for disaster. The sheriff is an elected official. I'm an elected official. I don't run a police department, and he shouldn't be doing that either. Now, for those of you, excuse me over there, for those of you who want to debate that, you certainly can. But the county police chief, and there are no elected police chiefs, but the county police chief is a civil service position. Our current police chief was 3rd in the state when he took the test, and he was duly appointed as the top person to get that position. He reports to the county administrator, not to me, as some people like to believe. So I am not part of that process. The sheriff, and there's no disrespect to the sheriff in this, but he's a politician, as am I, as is Freehold Tedesco. You don't put a politician in charge of a police department. Sheriffs are elected civilian administrators. And anybody here who's 18 and a Bergen County resident can run for sheriff, and if you get elected, you're going to be in charge of the Bergen County Sheriff's Department. But that doesn't make you qualified to run a police department. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Would you like to say something in regard to that then, to equalize?
Yes. Give the opportunity for any questions.
Disrespect.
Why don't we let the moderator do it? Next question.
Okay. Here's the next question. The practice by the highly regarded Bergen County Department of Health Services of making its services available to municipalities by contract, it makes it possible for small towns to meet state-mandated public health requirements at reasonable cost. Do you think it practical that other county departments might be able to work with municipalities in a similar way? And would you cite an example? If not, please explain your position.
The answer is yes, 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 and it's what I've been talking about for the last 4 years and what we are doing. The health department has sanitarians and contracts with, I think, 34, I'd be wrong on that, 34 of our municipalities to work with their health departments or in the municipalities. That's a home run for everybody. That's what we should be doing more of with shared services. Our Parks Department works with a lot of the schools in our towns to provide fields for them. Either they don't have fields or there's never enough fields. If you're in sports, you know there's never enough fields. Our county works with them. Our DPW shares our Mosquito Control Commission, where they go out and de-snag rivers in the towns. We had a pothole filler truck that the towns could sign up for. All they do is pay for the asphalt, then it goes out, you know, and fills the potholes instead of having men and women put in danger trying to fill those potholes personally on the roads. We've done a lot of shared service with every single one of our departments. We can do almost anything. As long as you have the imagination to work with us on what you can do, we can do almost anything in a shared service. I would love to talk to anybody who's an elected official or anybody else who wants to do something in their town. That's where we're going to save taxes.
Certainly, the health department does an outstanding job, and I encourage that, and I would like to expand upon that for other municipalities and other services. But let's get back to the shared services. Where's the realignment? If the county executive is so bent on sharing services and really wants to do it, why aren't we realigning the county police into the sheriff's department? We could save a lot of money, almost $200 million over a lifetime of 25 years for that. So you talk about shared services, we can do shared services. The county executive doesn't want to do shared services. She wants it her way or no way. She wants Donovan's army, and that's all she wants. When she talks about the sheriff being elected, every sheriff in the state of New Jersey is elected. We're the only one that has, outside of Camden County, that just had a county police, and one other department that has 2 police agencies. We could save a lot of money. We could take the county police, realign them under the Sheriff's Department. And listen, Sheriff Sordino does an outstanding job. He's a law enforcement professional. That's who we want running our law enforcement. We want a law enforcement professional. Sheriff Sordino is a law enforcement professional. County executive says that the chief of police doesn't report to her. Look at the chart. It was the director of law and public safety. That's now the chief of police. They now report to the county executive, who is an elected position.
Okay, thank you, Jim. What do you think the casino closings in Atlantic City portend for the future of casino gambling in New Jersey, specifically in northern New Jersey? What do you think about that?
I think there's a great opportunity for Bergen County. I've talked about it before. It's something that I've been talking about for weeks now. That we have a great opportunity, but we also have a window, and we have to make sure that we do it before that window closes. You have New York State that's going to build a casino. You have New York City that's looking to build casinos. Why? Because they see New Jersey looking to do it. I believe it's a great economic engine. It has to be done the right way. The people of southern Bergen County have to be brought into it. We can't impact the quality of life on the people of South Bergen. We need to make sure that the infrastructure is in place. But if you look at the rail line and everything else that's there, I believe there's an opportunity to expand that. I think when you look at with the rail spur there, tying that into American Dream and tying it into a casino and hotel and a convention center. New York City's convention center is on its last legs. It's outdated. If we can get the state to recognize the opportunity here, I believe there's a great opportunity for Bergen County to bring tourism, bring economic dollars to New Jersey through casino gambling and through hotel and a convention center.
What do you think the casino closings in Atlantic City portend for the future of casino gambling in New Jersey, specifically? What about northern New Jersey?
This is one of those questions that might be great or it might be a disaster. And quite honestly, it's up to the people of Bergen County to decide what they want to do. There might be a place for casino gambling in the Meadowlands. It's going to bring a lot of construction jobs, a lot of permanent jobs. But the people who live here in Bergen County have to decide that. So just as I said before, when we were talking about do we want to divide up and have districts for freeholders, if we want to have a casino in the Meadowlands, that's up to all of you to decide. Let's put it on the ballot quickly and let's have a decision made on it so that we can go forward on it. I do think we need a huge convention center. Jacob Javits, as my opponent said before, is old, is outdated, and let's face it, you get around a lot better here in Bergen County than you can in New York, and it's a lot cheaper to do business here in New Jersey than it is in New York City. So if you have a huge convention center in that Meadowlands area, you've got 555, American Dream, which they are working on. I drive past every day. I live in South Bergen, and you see the tanks of the cranes starting to operate. We've got an opportunity here to do something really special, which will benefit all of us for years to come. Got to do it right, but a huge convention center absolutely is the way to go. And maybe gambling, which I'm not opposed to it. I just want to make sure the people of Bergen County want it.
Okay, thank you. Kathy. Okay, why do the taxpayers have to bear the costs of the countless lawsuits? And what is the grand total of that so far?
Thank you, that's a great question. Here's the thing. When I got there, and I've said it before, I inherited a corrupt government. So I had to say no a lot. And people get really angry when you tell them no. No, we're not going to spend money. The surrogate sued me. I didn't sue him. Why? Because I wouldn't let him give 14% raises and overspend his budget to do so. He didn't like it. He took me to court. The court said, Ms. Donovan's right. You can't do that. Other people have sued me because they didn't like being told no, but that's my job. That's what I got elected to do what I think is right for the people of Bergen County. Now, have I Have I filed 5 lawsuits in 4 years? Yes, I have. And every single one of them was for the taxpayer of Bergen County. The sheriff's suit, which has gotten a lot of play, and you know there's a lot of sheriff's officers here, I'm glad I brought that suit. I'm glad I fought it to the bitter end. And you know why? Because now the sheriff's officers are the highest paid in the United States of America. Some of the raises are 5 and 10%. We can't afford it. It's going to cost us in excess of $60 million over the course of the next 5 years. So yeah, I did file those lawsuits. They were the right thing to do. Sometimes you have to use all 3 branches of government, legislative, executive, and judicial, to do the right thing for the people of Bergen County.
How much are the lawsuits?
She's much lighter than I am.
What the county executive failed to say in the one lawsuit, it was over $6,000, and we've incurred over $24,000 in legal costs. Tell me what's right about that. That's not right. That's not right. You can sit down and you can talk and you can negotiate. That's why you elect us. You elect us so that we represent you. Not that we leave here, we go across to the courthouse, and we file a lawsuit every time we don't agree. That's the mentality of the present administration. Let's walk across the street, let's file a lawsuit if you don't agree with me. That's not why you get elected. You get elected to work with the people. And all this talk about the past, that's not what's done this. This is about the present. This is about the last 4 years of constant litigation across the board of everybody. But let me just address one thing. A 14% increase, right? You heard the county executive say that. Well, let me show you a piece of paper here. This says, Gene Barada, Administration and Finance, Chief of Staff, $125,000 per annum to $141,500 per annum. 13.2% increase. So if you're against giving increases, here's an example. This is one of many that I have in my binder that shows her administration, people that work directly for her, benefited by raises like this.
Okay, the next question. Why are the local towns charged fees to use the fields in the county park for their recreation programs? Why are the residents charged county fees in their towns to use the recreation parks programs?
So let me make sure I understand the question. Why are residents charged a fee to use county parks?
Why are the local towns charged fees to use the fields in the county parks for their recreation programs?
I don't know. I wasn't here when that was put in. But if we have county facilities in those municipalities, I would like to see those municipalities get the use of those fields without having to pay for them. Now, if you have outside entities using those, that's a different story because we need to maintain them and we have costs associated with that. But if the facility is within the confines of that municipality, I would like to see, if in fact that's the truth, then I would like to see us look into changing that so that those municipalities don't have to pay that fee for using that, because that facility is actually in their town, and if they're not using it and someone else is, then they have the burdensome of all of the use and the traffic and everything else in that town, providing all the services. So at the end of the day, I think it would be prudent for the county to look at not having those local municipalities where the facility is paying for those facilities to use.
The local municipalities, all of our county facilities, of course, are open to all the residents of Bergen County and our 70 municipalities. but they don't run on air. You got, if it's a field, you gotta strike the field, you gotta sometimes mow the lawn, or you gotta put down the astroturf-like substances. If they use lights, and we have a lot of our fields now who have lights at night, costs money for electricity to run those lights. The municipalities or the teams in those towns are charged a lesser fee than other people are charged, but we do have to pay something because you can't do it on air, and you can't make other people, those of us here, pay for facilities in one town that they're using it. So the reason that towns are charged a fee, and they are, but it's a reduced fee from a sports league, for instance, a non-town sports league. The reason they're charged is so they cover the cost of maintenance, cover the cost of electricity, cover the cost of the security guards that have to be in the area. We're not making any money on it, folks, but you can't do it for free on air. You've got to make sure that we cover our costs.
Okay, and this is the last question of the evening, and it's for you, Kathy, first. What are your criteria, and what is the process to select board members to the Bergen Community College Board of Trustees?
I get to make selections for the board, and they go, as you know, to the freeholder. I make selections for the Board of Trustees for the county college, and then they go to the freeholder board for approval or disapproval. There are also 2 gubernatorial appointments over which we have no control. What we try to look for in any appointments to any boards, including the college board, but not specifically to that, are people who represent the county. In gender, in various nationalities, we've got lots of diversity in Bergen County. In skill sets, you don't want all the same people, all the same kinds of people on any board. So what I look like when I make recommendations to the freeholder board for their approval or disapproval are people who can help whatever the entity is. In the case of the Bergen Community College, it's a wide range of people: Hispanic, African American, Asian American, people with disabilities, men and women, people who have those backgrounds, and then you also look for people who have business background, an architecture background, a teaching background, building background, trades, a wide diversity of people who can best help run Bergen Community College.
One of the pledges that I've made is that I will form a committee to look and review all of the applications for people that want to sit on boards and commissions, especially Bergen Community College and some of the other boards and commissions. I think it's only fair that people submit their applications, and then people have that a committee reviews them, makes recommendations back to me so that I can take those recommendations, choose the appropriate person, and then bring that to the freeholder board. That's a promise that I made. That's a promise that I will keep when I take office on January 1st. I will just not make that decision. I will have direct input from the professionals of the facility and or the commission. I'll have union representation. I'll have a cross-section of people that will represent what the institution or what the commission is to make a recommendation back to me. Then that I will then make a recommendation back to the freeholder board. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're putting the right people in the right place. And when you look at the board at Bergen Community College today, that board needs to be more diverse. It needs to represent what the student and the community college looks like and represents. And that's the commitment I make today, is that I will ensure that that takes place.
Okay, thank you. Before the candidates give their closing statements, we have an announcement to make for you, so you can gather your thoughts, candidates, and get ready. In the meantime, Lucy Heller.
In addition to electing candidates on November 4th, there are 2 questions, state questions on the ballot. The League of Women Voters has provided an explanation and an analysis of these questions with reasons to vote yes or reasons to vote no. You can find that online either at LWVNJ or LWV Bergen. If you're don't like to go online, we have a few copies of that analysis which we can provide you after the program. And the other thing is, you note that this program is being recorded this evening, and I understand these are from the Bergen Academy. This videotape is being prepared for broadcast, and watch the Bergen County website for a schedule of when you, and tell your friends who aren't here, when they might be able to see this on TV. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Okay, at this time, we are going to finish with the closing statements from our candidates, and they're 3 minutes each. And according to the luck of the draw, Jim, you are the first person to give your closing statement.
It was great to be here with you tonight in the People's House. I've enjoyed this exchange of ideas. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for organizing this forum one more time, and of course, thank you, County Executive. I appreciate you making the time to participate in 3 forums with me so voters can see firsthand what our opinions are on the issues facing Bergen County. I believe in helping people. That's why I became a firefighter 38 years ago, and that's why I'm running for county executive. Right now, our county is divided. Not much is getting done due to the current political gridlock. I want to change that. My goal is to bring Bergen County back together and improve your quality of life through common sense initiatives. Over the course of this campaign, you have heard me lay out a vision for the future, our future. I have a vision for Bergen County that includes a jobs and economic growth plan, an education plan that will better prepare our children for the 21st century global economy, and plan to help our veterans returning from service, and an ethics plan that will increase transparency and accountability in government, and a transportation plan that will increase public safety and alleviate traffic. My past accomplishments speak to what I have accomplished My past accomplishments speak to what I want to accomplish as your next county executive. As mayor, I built the firehouse to help protect our community. I built the mini golf course so that the parents could take their children to a safe place. And I built a 7-acre park for recreation for our families. Bergen Town Center to increase economic growth and create jobs. And an affordable housing project that continues to help dozens of families. As your freeholder, I propose a community host bill of rights to help reform the Port Authority so that another Bridgegate never happens. That legislation is currently being considered by the New Jersey State Assembly. I also strengthened the county pay-to-play ordinance, helped select a group of law enforcement professionals to discuss realigning the Bergen County Police Department into the Bergen County Sheriff's Office, and have begun implementing the infrastructure needed to live stream freeholder work sessions so that citizens know what's happening in government. Today, with your help and support, we can turn Bergen County around. I refuse to take a pension from my time as mayor, and my door will always be open to everyone who work towards compromise. I'm asking for your vote on November 4th. I give you my word that I will vote for me. I will never stop fighting for you and your family so that we can work to improve your quality of life. Thank you.
Kathy.
Well, we have quite an interesting hour and a half, and I'm delighted I was here as part of it. Jim, thanks for your participation with it. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for doing this year after year after year. It is never easy, but we thank you very much for what you've done. I want to thank the students at Bergen Academies or Teterboro, I'm not sure which school, but whichever it is, thank you very much for what you did tonight and taping it. You did a very fine job. The last 4 years have, I believe, turned around Bergen County, as I said twice already, and I'm going to say it again. I inherited a corrupt government, and we changed that. I saved you $219 million. We did away with countless things that you all were paying.